No Caleb Grill in this game. Obviously, it did not matter. I mean,
No, it did matter. It did matter.
Oh,
it
boy,
did matter.
did it?
Oh, hell, it mattered. Yes. That's why they won.
So this team's significantly better in your eyes without Caleb Grill.
The chemistry is significantly better. Yes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why, Greg. I'll tell you exactly why. Because Iowa State's not a team that relies on talent, right? Iowa State's got a bunch of guys that probably are playing like significantly above their head, being anywhere near the conversation for like Big 12's best team, top 4 seed, anything like that. They just don't, that level of talent is not on the roster. The reason that they win is because everybody's bought in, everyone's playing together, everyone's pulling in the same direction. They like all of the cliches when it comes to college athletics, like that's why Iowa State wins. And when you got a guy in there that is just killing that energy, right? That's just killing that vibe, that's making like no one want to be there, no one want to play hard for each other. Like that's the kind of thing that could bring a program and a team that's built the way that Iowa State is, can bring it down. So I'm not really all that surprised. We just have to rename. You've heard of the Ewing theory, right?
Sure.
It's the Caleb Grill theory now.
We don't give Bill Simmons free ads here on the Field 68 though. But I mean, damn, fella, pour one out for Caleb Grill, man. That was brutal. That was absolutely
and
horrible.
I feel bad. I do feel bad saying that, but I do think it was addition by subtraction, and we've already seen that.
I don't think you felt that bad, Jeff. Let's be honest.
I'm just saying.
Let me flip this. Let me flip this to the Baylor side of this, right?
Yeah.
Because I've said for the last month, Baylor's going to be the team that when I fill out my bracket, I'm going to pick them like 3 rounds too far. I just love this team. I love this backcourt, but I feel like time and time again this season, they've sort of shown elements of why they will not win a national title more than they've shown why they can be a contender. Is that a fair assertion at this point, Rob? Like, should we start to sell our Baylor stock if we've had it all season long?
I don't think so. Again, this is a game where Iowa State had so much more on the line than Baylor did. It was a senior night. Senior night motivations can always get a little bit complicated. And if you look at what Baylor's done this year, right? If you take away the last second loss against TCU, the overtime loss against Kansas State, they lost at Texas in a 5-point game. They kind of got smacked a little bit at Kansas, and they lost at Kansas State by 10. Right? Nothing in there would lead you to anything other than believe like, yeah, okay, this team's actually pretty good. Right. And they would have, if you, those first 2 games, those 1 possession games, if they win those, then they win the Big 10 or the Big 12 regular season. Like, I'm not worried about them at all. If you were worried about them, it would have to be before this last game of the season. Like, that's my biggest takeaway from this Saturday is if you didn't have anything to play for and you played someone that had everything to play for, you got your ass kicked.
Yeah. I'll say this though. Like, I still just worry about them defensively and Keontae George defensively and those 2 guards. And they can win a couple, but I don't know if they can win 4 straight.
Yeah. And also I was never in on them the way that you were in on them, Greg. Like, I think that they're the kind of team that can probably put up 90 for 4 straight games, but at some point in there, they're going to give up 95. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I got all the way in on them. When they got JTT back, I just convinced myself he was going to move the needle in a bigger way than I think he has. I'm also a sucker for 3-headed backcourts. It's always been my thing ever since 2005 Illinois, right?
Can I put one question to you guys real quick?
Yeah.
Iowa State, let's say that they end up in like that 6-7 seed line. Do they have a chance to get to a Sweet 16? Can you see it?
I mean, they did it last year. They did it last year with like similar talent offensively. It's not like they had this high-powered offense a year ago. So, like, TJ's shown he can do it. Now, again, it's going to take the right matchups, but they're old.
So what I will say is this. They play that, like, no-middle defense that can kind of mess with teams a little bit. If you don't play in the Big 12, you probably haven't seen it all that often. And on the second day of a weekend, I can see that being a difficult thing to prepare for if you've never seen it before. So I'm kind of in on them now, especially seeing this performance. Just because, like, I kind of want to see what happens in the Big 12 tournament too. Like, if they get bounced in the first round by 25, like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm overreacting to this Baylor win when Baylor had their senior night in a game that didn't matter. So, yeah. Hey guys, just a reminder, our sponsor for today's episode is Run Your Pool. They are hosting the Field of 68 Bracket Challenge. This year, they are giving away $1,500 in free prizes. It's all an incentive for you to get on there and find out just how good their platform is. I've been using them for my bracket pools for years. I've used them for Super Bowl squares. I use them for everything that I need to use them for. The biggest survivor pool that I'm in for both NFL and NCAA tournament is by Run Your Pool. So go check them out. The link's below. Tap in.